Chubstep.
Jrad.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed. Chubstep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
Captain, got a second?
It's Captain.
What did I say?
Captain? Like Captain Crunch?
All right, but to be fair, Captain Crunch was a war hero and the primary male role model in my house growing up, so.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Guess who started?
Welcome, hello. Huge episode.
Huge episode. Again,
Touch
me and
me.
Steed are, we're next to each other here.
We're live in person.
Live in person.
In the studio. New studio.
New studio. Very fresh. So fresh they're still working on it and it's surrounded by other stuff. If we didn't have this background, you would see all the fancy stuff around us. Let's just say there's at least 3 monitors on the desk we're sitting at.
And none of them are hooked up.
No, we'll keep it at the details of the
Okay,
monitor.
yeah.
All right. Steed is here. Steed, you're about to move to, as we talked about, move to Vancouver, Washington.
I don't think we ever talked about this. The Chubstep viewers don't know.
I might have mentioned it in a previous episode. I might not have, though.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the deal. I wanted to start off, before you get anything, with some facts about the area
Oh, no.
around you. Okay, so
I'm nervous about these facts.
you should be nervous. They're kind of, well, obviously you know some of the basic stuff that we talked.
I know, like, it's rainy.
It's the 4th biggest city in Washington.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's right across the border from Portland.
Portland.
So this is Portland area stuff. Anyway, 1947, there was a guy named Kenneth Arnold.
Okay.
And he was a guy that was, apparently there was a downed like Marine flight. And he was trying to find the crash and get a $5,000 reward. So he was flying around the area around basically Vancouver, Washington. And he kind of goes past it, ends up near like Mount Rainier area. And then this is when the famous original flying saucer is seen.
The original?
So like this was the guy that claimed that he saw the original like kind of UFO flying saucer.
Okay. Yeah, I guess those didn't exist forever. Somebody had to make them up.
Yes, and it changed over time what he claims that he saw, but it originally that it looked like a saucer disc, something that he said was traveling at about 1,200 miles an hour.
How do you estimate that?
I had no idea how he
Back
estimates
in
that.
1947.
But they said the fastest anything could fly was 700 miles an hour, and that was months later. So
Wait.
so yeah.
Oh,
see,
back
this,
in-
so this is in what is this, 1947.
Oh, my God.
Right. So double the speed of
The fastest
even the
thing
fastest
on
thing at
Earth.
the time. Yes. But he's claiming he could see this, but I guess he didn't find this $5,000 reward, but he did get some infamy in claiming that he saw
The first flying saucer?
flying saucer would claim to weave side to side like a Chinese kite,
I'm in love with the Chinese chick.
about 100 feet across.
Wow.
So decently big size.
That is big. But
So-
he did not find the downed airplane.
Doesn't sound like you found the I actually didn't look into the.
So maybe I'll
background.
make that my goal when I'm out there to find that.
My assumption is they found it.
I don't know. We don't know that.
32. It was a command transport to crash with 32 Marines on board.
Ooh.
So that's not good.
Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
there you go. So that's one little thing that happened. There in Portland, there's the world's smallest park. It's called Mill End Park. Mill Ends Park? Yeah, I don't know why it's called that. Mill Ends Park. Anyway, it's the smallest park in the world. It is
that is
we're looking at pictures of it right now.
Bush League.
This is in Portland, and it is literally like a fire pit.
Yeah. Fire pit sized.
And there's a tiny little sign. It's in the middle of the street too.
There's a bush in it.
There's one bush in it, and there's a little sign that said Mill Ends Park. And I think this has the Guinness claim of the world's smallest public park.
I could build a smaller one.
Yeah.
This is like the one I lived in Geneva. They built a park next to my
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
I talked about it on the show,
Yeah.
and it was next to the sidewalk for not even a full block, like half a block. It was
Yes.
just some mulch, and they called it a park.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is for tax reasons.
Yeah.
The city's somehow profiting.
Yes,
off
they're
this.
doing something shady is going on here. They're doing something so they can do something else.
Yeah,
Yeah, like what is this? This is literally
you don't need a bush there.
no. That's so you can go hang out in the park. Hey, you have a cute date at a park.
Yeah,
You get a
I might.
get a Mill Ends Park.
I'm gonna remember that.
Yes. Okay, so there's underneath Portland, there's these Shanghai tunnels.
One. Okay. Tunnels.
So yes, so I also am going to do this editor's note, which I didn't even know this was a thing. So Traveler Portland acknowledges the inherent racism of the term Shanghai to refer to the practice of kidnapping and enslaving laborers in the 19th century. I actually had no idea that was even.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like a city.
What is this city?
What
So
about the
that's
movie
why-
Shanghai Nights?
Yeah, apparently there is some negative connotations to it too.
Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, they
That's
did
a good
Shanghai,
movie.
They did Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see Jackie Chan in
They
anything
didn't
anymore.
acknowledge.
They didn't acknowledge
did not
anything about
acknowledge
that
that.
movie. I haven't seen those movies in a long time. Maybe
They
they're,
hold up. I'm sure they do.
or maybe they're canceled. So, yeah, maybe you can't find them anywhere. Or they've been
That's a good
erased from
point. They
all
could
the
have been
things.
canceled.
Okay, so I wasn't aware that it was a term, anything like that. But apparently, there was these tunnel systems that would go underneath the bars that people would use during the Prohibition era, and they would, transport like alcohol, kidnap victims, prostitutions and stuff would be down there. But then you can still do the tour now of some of these things, but apparently it basically just brings you to the basement of one bar. And then they're like, oh,
God.
look, there's kind of some tunnels down there.
Look
But
at
it's-
that.
But basically all the tunnels are either collapsed or off limits. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna be on the lookout for those too.
yes. So it sounds kind of like a tourist type of scam. And there's some debate on how well these tunnels were actually used. But apparently, yeah, this is basically
There may have been some tunnels.
There might have
down
been some tunnels that had some use in illegal activities, but they were called the Shanghai tunnels.
Yeah, I mean, back in the Prohibition, I 100% would have built a tunnel.
Yes. There is I believe it's the world's largest naked bike ride in Portland.
Wow. Yep.
I don't want to see your penis.
And they said in their peak, it had 10,000 people did it. In the more recent years, it's been a little bit less, around 8,000 people. But they're actually having a problem with so many people going that they're hoping that it dies down.
Yeah. I don't like the underwear people.
I would agree. If you're going to do this, you have to commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because there's a lot of dongs out there, and if
yes.
you're looking at dongs,
Yes.
people should be able to look at you.
I would agree. It almost is like offensive to, like, it feel like it's like, what, you think you're not as good? I don't know. It's a weird thing to like not be where you to participate it, or you can't be there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of in shape
agree.
people in that crowd too.
It's actually a shockingly better looking crowd than I would have thought.
I thought naked bike ride, that's going to attract a lot of like miscreants, and no, it seems like bike riders that just took their clothes off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah,
There's
no,
one
I
guy
mean, there's
with-
yeah. So I should be back in 2025. It's been going on for a long time.
Okay, I'm in.
20 years.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm 100% in.
You got to get your bike while you're there. That was okay. So those were the main things that I little Portland and Vancouver, Washington area thing. So
I'll check those out. I'm gonna be in the tunnels.
Good.
I'm gonna emerge
Good.
from the tunnels naked.
Good.
Ride around the park naked.
Please do.
If you can do it one day a year, I think I can make a legal case that I can ride around naked 362 days a year.
I would agree with that. Well, I don't know why they could be like, why is this legal one?
Yeah,
time?
it's
That's
chill
like
tonight.
That's
but-
like saying the purge is legal one time a year.
Yeah.
Like that's not legal. Either it is legal or it's not legal. You can't do once a year.
Exactly. Give me a break, Portland. I'm naked
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Jared.
You're welcome.
Hey, my partner, he want to see that product.
When he talking?
My name is Jeff. It's Jefe, man. And tell me about that crazy adventure you guys had. Go into incredibly descriptive details of the story so we all know.
Oh, yes. It was Dora and Diego and Swiper.
Swiper?
And who was that you choked out, man? Oh, he had it coming. Who was that?
Boots.
No, man. Start over from the top. That's a made-up name.
A guy lost $750 million of Bitcoin.
Oh God. How did he?
He threw it away. He threw away a hard drive that contained $750 million of Bitcoin.
Oh, no.
He knew he threw it away. He knows he threw it away.
Yeah.
This is some idiot in England.
Yeah.
So he had 2 hard drives. One had the Bitcoin, the other didn't.
Okay.
It had nothing.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, he threw away the hard drive that had nothing on it.
Okay.
Goes into a landfill, and the landfill won't let him go in and take his money back. They won't let him attempt to get the money. They won't let him. He wants to do some elaborate thing with like a bunch of people and trash sifters and AI. And they're like, no. One, technically, if you throw something away, it is now the county's property.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they own the Bitcoin. And then 2, they're just like, you would never find it. There's like 100,000 tons of trash.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna find one hard drive in this landfill.
So, oh my God. I mean, kind of an idiot move on his part. You said 75 million?
750
million. So I just crazy couldn't bribe somebody there to be like, hey, how about finder's fee of 20 million?
Well, he's offered them like money. Let's see. It doesn't say illegal right to access. Okay, no, it doesn't say how much like he offered them, but he did offer them like a share.
Okay, he did.
So I mean, even half.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because what, you spend $2 million retrieving the hard drive?
Yeah,
that seems reasonable. City gets 300 mil. You keep the other 400 mil.
So why didn't he just cash this out at any point? This is the classic, like just hanging on to something that's.
He mined it in 2009.
Oh,
and then
okay,
he probably threw it away when it was still small, and then he's like, oh, whatever. And then he kept being like, oh shit.
Oh wait. So it's not. This was not a recent. I kind of was picturing he threw it away and like a couple days later realized it was garbage.
No, I
think
this
has been thrown away for like years.
I'm pretty sure it was thrown away. Yeah, in 2013.
There's no way that's still around.
2013.
Okay. I'm kind of with them. It's like, I thought this was like he had just thrown away. He's like, oh shit, it's in like the garbage. I know where I threw it away.
I know.
Okay.
I know the bag. It's a pink bag.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is, that's gonna be corrupted. It's gonna be,
I don't think it would be corrupted if it's in a bag. I don't know what happens to the bags
I don't know what happens
in the
to the
landfill.
bag. Yeah.
I think they just sit there, and you just have to start digging.
Oh my God.
If you live around, what was it, Newport? If you live in England,
okay,
I'm just gonna say the whole country of England.
Yeah.
You got to get to this trash site. The security is probably not that like extreme.
Yes.
You can get in there, start digging. 2013, whatever you think is.
Does it have a description of the type of hard drive it is?
It's just any hard drive.
Okay. Yeah. How many hard drives?
And also, if you find any hard drive that's been thrown away, you're probably uncovering some blackmail material.
Good point.
So this is
good point.
Either Bitcoin or blackmail.
Yeah, at the very least, you can blackmail somebody.
Yeah. I had a laptop that I threw away, and I didn't like have anything on it.
Yeah.
Just like old Google searches, and I didn't want somebody getting it.
Yep.
So I just ripped my laptop in half.
Oh yeah, no, I've never thrown away electronic thing and not smashed it up first.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna rip this in half. There we go. Done deal.
Yeah. No, I don't trust. I just feel like there's something they could get off something.
Yeah, my Chubstep searches.
Yeah. Your Chubstep searches alone could put you in
not
jail.
Good.
Yeah. Well, that's a good find.
Yeah, somebody better break into that landfill and find it. 8 years. Wait, I can't do the math.
2013. That'd be 12 years.
12 years. However deep you think 12 years of garbage is. Watch the trucks for a week.
Yep.
Add up the amount of feet it goes up. Dig down that amount of feet, and then you'll be at that level. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
When I was in Santa Fe with you, when we did our famous Chubstep pictures.
Oh yeah.
There's one story I didn't talk about from that trip, which was we went to this art gallery, and this guy holds the door open for us as we're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you. He's like, and then he just starts talking to us.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, this wasn't just out of the kindness of his
he was
heart to
waiting.
do this. He
He
was
was
like
waiting for
waiting to
this
do
moment.
people. So then he starts talking, and he keeps talking, and then when he starts getting into this thing about vaccines, that's when
Oh, God.
that's when he loses my wife. And she's like, okay, I'm out. And then he keeps, but I'm like kind of stuck there with my mom, and we're still talking to this guy.
No.
And then he ends up handing us this piece of paper.
Is it this piece of
Yes.
paper? Oh,
So,
no.
so actually, this is what's more funny than this. The piece of paper is actually a big piece of paper, and my mom scanned it and gave it to all the kids as a Christmas present in our stockings. Is a copy of this guy's article. So I have the article here. I'm going to keep his name out of thing because he seems a little bit wild. But I'm just going to read you a little bit, a couple of quotes here from this thing. But okay. I am close to getting the resolution to create a new UN information center in Santa Fe, scheduled to be voted on by the UN General Assembly, which may have large and effective component for indigenous issues, including preservation of languages, getting accurate live facts.
He's getting a new UN embassy.
Yes, UN in Santa Fe.
For
The
indigenous.
class, yes, for the indigenous
Okay,
people.
yeah.
Okay. One of the things he says here, those ambassadors might have just heard about Mexican monarch butterfly activists being murdered by corporate thugs in 2020, but UN Santa Fe made a huge issue about that.
Whoa.
Exclamation point. Okay, so there's like little things as you go through there. So then there is on the second page, this is when he goes into some other things. A few local Hispanics bitterly lamented last night to the Santa Fe City Council that half of the obelisk is gone, and they demand that half obelisk back, despite the Santa Fe Council voting unanimously in 1973 to remove it in toto.
Okay, so it was missing last night, and they want it back, but it was been missing since 1973.
Voted to remove it. They voted to remove it in 1973.
Okay, and then now people are just getting pissed about it.
Yes.
Okay, that checks out.
Okay. Maybe those vehemently desperate to see a new obelisk instead of a ponderosa pine tree, my idea, which had 200 votes for in a local poll, including one from probably Archbishop John Charles Wester, probably, okay, but one against.
One
Okay,
against.
Okay, and then it goes into something about a pharaoh ruler, Ramses II, who died
in Egypt.
Yes, and then it's something about Jewish people, and okay, it's this whole thing, right?
Well, if you're crazy, you have to believe
Yes,
the Jewish
of
people on
course,
something.
exactly. So, Egypt is seeking to repair the citadel clock, one of the oldest of its type in the world, so that it will work again. This is where this article ends up, by the way. This is where so anyway.
That's an article?
Well, he wrote it. I don't know what this is.
Okay.
Founder, United Nations, Santa Fe. So this guy, and he's got it. Then he's got a link to an RFK Jr. podcast with Rand Paul.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, duh.
This thing is all over the place. It's interesting. So I just did a quick search on this guy, and needless to say, he did not have the best reviews on his former place of business that he owned.
He owned something?
I searched his name.
How does somebody who's schizophrenic have a business? It's crazy.
Owner of this place is a psycho. He doesn't wear a face mask. In addition to the back of the shop smelled so bad that everything was disorganized and cluttered. At first I thought he was normal, and he started ranting to me and my girlfriend about the Vietnam War.
Oh, God.
No. He kept trying to get us to stay, so we wanted to leave, and he finally cussed at us. There's multiple of these types. There's a couple of decent ones, and then it's another thing about how this guy just yells at people. And then he's just trying to just like go to eBay would be better. And then I found articles online on local news articles about him being the one that actually broke this obelisk. He's actually
he broke the obelisk?
He was one of the people that faced prosecution breaking the obelisk. This guy is just he's a piece of work. So anyway, it's just a little fun thing that came up around Christmas again. And then you do a little deep diving in, and turns out multiple people. He's pretty well known in the Santa Fe area. It turns out we weren't the first people he stopped and harassed.
Good God.
There's a UN secretary for stopping child trafficking. There's a whole thing with that.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
important. That's the main thing. He's going to
That's the
save
main
the earth
thing. That's
in
the
his
main
head.
thing. That's the main thing. So I just thought I'd share that with you. If you people are looking for Santa Fe, I can hook you up with a good resource there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'll punch a baby when nobody's looking. Just
Okay.
to establish my lifelong dominance over that child. Well, they cry all the time, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to know it's from just a little punch in the eye?
Okay, Jay, last week I talked about what was it? It was pigeons being used in a missile.
Yes. Yep.
And then I found some more funny ways you can use animals in war.
Okay. Good. Yep.
These were all things that existed too.
Okay.
So my favorite one is something called a bat bomb. What do you think a bat bomb is?
Like somebody attaches a piece of dynamite to a bat and just lets it go, and
Pretty
wherever it
much,
ends
yeah.
up. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, not
Oh,
dynamite,
God.
an incendiary device.
Oh, God.
Actually, Bing Bong.
Bing bong.
This was developed by a dentist who went to the Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico.
Wow.
And he
Okay.
saw all these bats, and he was like, "Man, if we put all these bats in a bomb and just like tied incendiary devices to them with a timer,
Yeah.
they would just fly out over a whole Japanese city, and then they would all explode." And
I would just think they'd come back to me just as equally as they would go to the enemy. But
no, because
Okay.
you send it in Japan.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, this was like he's like instead of the atom bombs, we do the bat bombs.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it would have caused a huge
Yeah.
amount of like
Yes.
fires, because the bats would hide in like eaves of houses and businesses.
Okay, God.
When the timer went off, they just blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spent millions of dollars, captured thousands of bats, and it was canceled in 1944.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
probably a good.
so-
thing. Yeah.
They tried it, but it never worked.
Glad we spent the money on it.
Another thing you can blow up is rats. So
Okay.
this is a British one, top secret British guys. They thought, hey, let's take these dead rats. So this is getting a little different. This is the
Okay,
first
yeah.
dead one. They hide explosives in these dead rats, smuggle them into German occupied France,
Okay.
ship them around there, and then you just they thought that German soldiers would pick up the dead rats and throw them into boilers. This must have been common at the time to get rid of dead rats.
Okay.
Maybe, so it wouldn't smell or something.
Okay.
So they're hoping the German soldiers are just going to throw them into boilers, and then the explosive rats blow up.
I see. Blowing up their boilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nazis intercepted the package of dead rats. They noticed the explosives in dead rat shipment, and it failed gigantically.
Interesting.
So yeah, we got pigeons, rats, bats. This one's fun. Dogs.
Yep.
Russia used anti-tank attack dogs.
Oh, God.
So
I feel like you saw something in. They would have dogs in like Call of Duty and World War II Call of Duty.
Yeah, and
But-
they were fun.
But not anti.
No, these were
tank
not
ones, yeah.
suicide dogs
Okay.
in the game. In real life, yeah, the Soviets trained about 40,000 anti-tank dogs. They put a backpack on them, several pounds of explosives, a lever on the backpack going up into the sky. The dogs were trained to run underneath tanks.
Oh, my
When the
God.
lever went down, the explosives would go off.
Oh, my.
The problem was the Germans would just shoot them.
Oh, that's pretty valid.
They see a dog walking up and just shoot it.
Here's the thing for like everybody that thinks this is like how it's very insensitive of the USSR to like do that with dogs. They sent out, there'd be plenty of battles where they would send out people with half of them wouldn't have a gun.
Yeah.
They would have one person would have the gun, and the other person would have like extra ammo.
Yeah.
And you had to wait for the
Duck
person
behind
next to
your
you.
boy.
Yeah, you wait for the person next to you to die, basically, before you got their gun. So not much different with the treatment of the animals here. You're basically expecting the same result. Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They just trained the dog. The dog did not work. Not effective.
It worked a few times.
Okay.
I guess, but not 40,000 times, which is how many dogs they
Oh my
sent out
God.
there. So,
Oh my God. Point.
so
Okay.
that's a few fun more ways that people have Weaponized, cute little critters.
Yeah, that have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, bats.
Exactly. Yeah, bats. The bat one is how much? Yeah, how much of an explosive can a bat even hold? That seems.
Well, it's just an incendiary, so something to light on fire. And a
Yeah. Okay.
maybe they were big bats. I don't know.
Sure, could be big bats. Yeah. Well, there you go. Fun facts, some sad facts, some fun facts. A little all over the place today. Steed, what will you miss most about Illinois? What will you not miss at all?
I'm going to miss. This is a whole Midwest thing. I'm gonna miss the corn.
Ooh, you are leaving corn country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm used to going on a drive, spend 8 hours in cornfields.
Yes. God,
Okay.
you're gonna miss that. Yeah.
It's nice and flat.
If you fall asleep at the wheel, you just hit the corn.
You hit the corn, it slows you down. It doesn't even mess your car up that bad. You got to get it washed, sure. You know, I guess there's still going to be like a little bit of snow up there.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to miss.
Oh God. Well, I say traffic, but apparently there's traffic everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just such a mediocre place. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not like you're living in Death Valley, California, and it's just hot as balls all day, and you're gonna die.
Yep.
But you're not living on the beach in California. But I mean, Chicago's fun. This is a pretty good zone. St. Charles, Geneva. They really grow on you.
You've lived. Now you've lived on every coast after this. You've lived in 2 different spots in the Midwest, and now you're going to live on the West Coast. You've lived on the East Coast, kind of.
Maryland. I lived on
Maryland and then Georgia.
In Georgia.
Yeah.
In Kansas.
So you're going to have a pretty good, and then Illinois. They're going to have a pretty good concept of the full United States. So we'll get a full wrap up here.
I'll move like 3 more times.
Yeah.
Just to wildly different places too.
Yes.
Because I haven't done I guess I lived in New York too already. I was young. I was a boy.
But yeah, maybe Southwest. We need.
Yeah.
Swamp. You need
swamp.
You need to be in
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yeah, at some point you got to be in Louisiana, deep swamp.
Goddamn right I do.
Okay, perfect.
I will be a swamp man.
All right.
Problem.
Nice. Well, we'll wrap it up there. New episodes every Thursday. Next time you hear the Steed will be in Washington.
Yep.
Washington.
We're gonna be doing long distance.
Long distance. It's perfect. So make sure to check us out on YouTube, Chubstep Podcast, all the stuff. The show has ended. Begun.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.